Okay, so we're back with the same stupid gimmick because I did play Gran Turismo 7 and I did find a livery in the game that has the skull on the helmet, and this is the closest thing I have to a racing helmet, so yeah. That thing gets really hot inside. So yeah, we are reviewing Gran Turismo 7, and I have some very strong thoughts on this game. Let's get into it. So something I'd like to point out before we begin is, as a disclaimer, I played this entirely in VR. I may have played like 1 or 2 races in 2D, but I had the ability to play this in VR, and so yeah, I played this entirely in VR. Number 2, the second disclaimer is I did not finish this game. Now, that's not to say that I only played like 2 hours of this. I played a considerable chunk of this game. I think I put in well over like maybe 15 to 20 hours into this game, so I played a good chunk of this game. So don't mistake this for me. I've only played like half an hour of this game and I have a review of it. I don't like doing that kind of stuff, and also I like letting people know when I don't fully review a game. But I did only check this out and from a library because I didn't feel like paying the ridiculous $70 for this game to play in VR, so I did that way. And so yeah, that being said, let's go on with how my experience was with Gran Turismo 7. And it's important to know that with the previous Gran Turismo Sport, it had a prototype VR mode that came packed in with it. It was the main reason why I got the game. And it had its problems, it had its graphical hiccups, but it was still an amazing experience. So when I found out that Gran Turismo 7 was going to be playable 100% in VR, every mode, every car, everything, I was kind of intrigued, especially since Gran Turismo 7 had a considerably larger car list than Sport. I think it's like twice the size of Gran Turismo Sport's 300 and something cars, so it's about like 600 something in 7. And when going into this, the visual improvements from Sport to this in VR are night and day. This thing is so much more graphically impressive than Gran Turismo Sport. There are some truly beautiful scenes in this game, and there's a few times when it got to like a nighttime driving scene, it looked pretty damn photorealistic to me. I mean, because I've driven at night before, it's like, honestly, they did a really good job on the graphical quality of this game. The 2D scenes I saw when playing were perfectly fine. I had no issue with that. But when I was in VR, man, I mean, that was gorgeous. Now, I would attest to more how the game looks in the 2D version, but I rarely played it, so I can't tell you if the ray tracing stood out more than the VR version. I mean, I was staying in this VR for the most part. But like the draw distance is also greatly improved from Sport. They almost fixed every little hiccup you could find in Sport in this one, and so that was pretty cool. Another thing that was impressive was the audio. I turned down the music almost to 0, and I turned the audio up to like 100 because I wanted to feel the roar of the engine in like my jawbone. And when you have the audio properly balanced, man, does it sound like you are in a beast of a car when you're flooring it, hitting 100 miles an hour. It's really awesome. Now, one thing I kind of thought was interesting is I never really got sick while playing this game in VR. I did get a headache one night, and my eyes did get a little strained one night. Granted, it was one of the first games I was playing in VR, so I did have to optimize it a little bit, turning down brightness and whatnot. I never really got sick, though. I wonder if it's because, one, I never really get sick during racing games. games walking, moving, that's where I get sick. But like Drive Club VR, which was notorious for people getting sick, I never once got sick while playing that game, which is weird. Because that was like the one game everyone agreed, you're going to get sick playing this game. And it's like, I never did. But I got sick playing Arizona Sunshine and Resident Evil 7, so that was weird. But I think also another thing that really helps is the improvement to visuals. I think now that it's more visually less blurry, the field of view is wider, and there's less of a screen door effect, I think I was getting less sick on this game and other games as well. So I don't know, that could just be me. Some people might get really sick while playing this game, but I didn't. And I think that was kind of interesting. Now, this is when we get into the negatives of this game, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, there are more negatives to this game than there are positives. You heard me right. So let's go with something little, like the daily goal that was in Gran Turismo Sport, where if you like race 15 miles, you get a lottery type thing where you get a free car every day. They still have that, but it's been drastically changed to be something that kind of sucks. One, you have to like hit 30 miles now, and then the roulette thing is a car, a stack of coins, a couple gold bars, maybe an engine part to improve your car, or a couple of little coins on the ground. And like 9 times out of 10, I got the couple little coins on the ground. I always got like the lowest one out of all these roulette things that I played. Every now and then I got lucky, got a couple of gold bars. I think like the couple of coins on the ground is like $1,000, and like the gold bars are considerably more. Like once, maybe twice, I got a car, but a far cry from the satisfying roulette thing that you got with Gran Turismo Sport. It's far more restrictive because they want you spending real world cash on the cars in this game, and that really sucks. Now, the thing I hated with a passion in this game, and when I say hate, I mean hate, okay, was the cafe. I fucking hated the cafe in this game because it was so tedious and boring, and all of the people you meet in the cafe, it's like, oh, my name's Luca, and I'm here to get you through the process. There's a lot of fascinating things you should know about cars. Like, did you know in 1938, Datsun utilized a carburetor on this one model and never did it again? And it's like, okay, can I race some freaking cars, please? And just the whole cafe experience is tedious. It's like, oh, you have to complete this goal. And if you complete these goals, you unlock these 3 uninteresting cars. You can't do anything else past this. So it's like, okay, I'll do that. And you have to use these specific cars to win the race. It's like, fine. And now that you've won, look at this little cinematic of the 3 cars you raced with. It's like, I don't care. And then you just try and skip, and even the way the font goes on screen is like, it is obnoxious and tedious, and I hated the whole cafe experience. And that being said, every character that they introduce in this game that operates the different segments, they're all boring as hell. They all want to strike up a conversation with me. Meanwhile, I just want to race some cool cars, and this game doesn't like let me do that. I can't tell you how much time I've wasted on this game trying to dodge the menagerie of interesting, personable characters that want to tell me all about the little details in the game when I just want to freaking race cars. Oh, and then this is the best part. Every aspect to this game is locked, and the only way to unlock shit in this game is, you guessed it, having to accomplish the stupid cafe missions. And then with these missions, they always start you in the back. Now, this is a common problem with racing games that I despise with a burning passion. Okay? It always freaking sets me in the far back. You got 20 cars, I'm always dead last when the race starts. So the entire race isn't like this tight neck and neck. Is he going to outrun me, or am I going to be able to outrun this car? And no, it's always I start at the dead last, and I have to spend the entire race trying to reach up to the front, and I always get past the front. If I win the game, it's always in the last quarter of a mile trying to get in front of the lead car, not because they're a superior driver, simply because I just started so far freaking back that there's no challenge. It's just, okay, can I get my car fast enough with enough aftermarket modifications so I don't have to go through this tedious race anymore? I mean, there are some games, it's like there's this really great neck and neck racing where the other driver's like as good as you, and it's like, that's racing. This is a chore trying to just because I started last. It's a stupid handicap that ruins most games, and it's just starting to become so prevalent that now I have to hold it against games. I mean, at least with Gran Turismo Sport, when I did a custom match, I could kind of choose my starting position, and the further back I start, the higher the payout. And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. I can at least start like, number 5 and not have to work trying to outrun every single person. And so it's like, that was so stupid, and this game was kind of the straw that broke my back on that. And this leads to my biggest criticism of this game, is I never got to drive the cars I wanted to drive. So case in point, when I started this game, it was 7 hours before I got to drive a car I liked. 7. And that car that I finally got to drive that I liked was a C3 Corvette. Okay? It gets better. The only races I was able to drive that car was custom races that net you like no cash. You get like $50. That's it. So unless you just want to play that over and over again, the only way to progress to new maps, new races, new locations, and new cars is, you guessed it, paying real world cash or playing the stupid cafe missions. And it gets better. All the cafe missions have you racing Jap burners or Euro economy cars, so like Mini Coopers and Fiats and that kind of thing. You don't get to race the cool exotic sports cars and two-seater speedsters and American muscle. No. That's for people who actually want to pay cash, and for people who have played 30-40 hours to this game. Yeah, no. You only get to play in the Mini Coopers, the little Renault, like economy cars. That's it. And it sucks. Okay? I spent money to actually get a car that actually is a car I like. And when I went to go race it, it's like, no, you can only use a Mini Cooper or a Renault or an economy car on this race. It's like, why do you even have a shop then? When I can't race the cars I want to race through these missions that I need to complete to unlock the game, to unlock new maps, and to unlock other, events, I have to use the shitty cars that they want me to use. It was like, I think 15 hours before I finally got a cafe race that let me race American muscle cars. And by that point, I was pissed at this game. And another thing worth pointing out is this game makes Gran Turismo Sport look like an offline gamer's paradise, okay? Because Gran Turismo Sport, it was about like 75 to 80% online, and you had about like 20 to 25% of the game was playable offline. It was obnoxious, but you at least got something. With Gran Turismo Sport, or with Gran Turismo 7, it is 97% online only. There's like one game mode you can play offline, and thankfully, you can play it with any car you've unlocked, on any map you've unlocked, but it still sucks ass. And that is the biggest problem with this game. This game should have been a perfect 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 11. but because of some of the stupid decisions they've done with this game, it is mediocre at best. I did not have a good time playing this game. There were great moments I had when I was racing cars, you know, I actually wanted to race and I actually wanted to drive, and when I was doing that, it was amazing. It was like a dream come true. But no, this game would not let me play this game how I want to play it. It would not let me play with the cars I want to play as. And no, I wasn't trying to play in the most expensive cars. I am a huge fan of American muscle and European exotic sports cars. It doesn't let you get anywhere near those until the 15-hour point. Okay, you have to waste so much time racing little Toyotas and Mini Coopers and Renault and like little eco-friendly electric cars before you get to play around with the cool stuff. And because of that, this game is so mediocre. It actually, you know what? This game's a disappointment. This should have been so much better, and in fact, it's a travesty what they've done with this game. Maybe when they finally shut this game down, the online only component, if they bring enough of it to be playable offline, maybe this might be worth another look at a cheaper price. But right now, for $70, a year and a half after it comes out, this is not worth it. This isn't even worth $30 with how the game is right now. And each update, they bring you these really cool new cars. You're not going to get to touch those until you go through all the bullshit cafe missions having you play through cars you don't enjoy. Oh yeah, and they're always slower than the other cars you're racing against. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, this game is a disappointment. Will I try again in the future? Maybe. If they get rid of all the stupid online only stuff and they actually fix some of the stuff with updates. But until then, this is a hard pass for me. So anyway, that's been my review of Gran Turismo 7. My name's Christopher Connell with 11 Hour Reviews, and that will be all for today.